Jersey, where she had left for a couple weeks.
Around how old were you when your mother left for a few weeks?
I would say like 12.
So how old was Adam at that point in time?
I would say 10.
And so during that time, you as a 12-year-old were in charge of watching your 10-year-old brother?
That's correct.
Was that something that that was normal in your lives, for you to basically take charge of your brother's care?
Yes and no, yes.
Okay. And when you say that your mother left you alone, was that even earlier than when you were 12 or 10?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you maintained a relationship with your brother since, as you've grown, even if you've grown apart?
Yes, through phone conversation, or when I had lived in Pennsylvania for a short time before moving to California.
And you actually have a family of your own now, is that right?
That's correct.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness with what's been previously marked as defense 9PP?
You may.
Here, I'm showing you what's been previously marked as defense 9PP. Do you recognize this?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you recognize this photograph?
This is a picture between me and my family, myself, my wife Maria, my daughter Rosabella, my son Eli, and my second daughter Bethany, and my mother.
How many, is anyone missing from this picture from your family?
Yes, ma'am. That's not a completely recent picture, so that would be Julian, my youngest son.
So you have 4 children, is that right?
That's correct.
Your Honor, at this time, the defense would offer into evidence what's been pre-marked as defense exhibit 9PP as defense 9PP.
Any objection?
No objection.
Please so admitted.
The people pictured in this photograph do they have any knowledge of your brother?
They do.
Has your brother had any contact with your children?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask you this, because you know why you're here today, correct?
That's correct.
You know your brother's been convicted of 4 counts of first-degree murder, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, how do you feel about your brother today?
It's a bit shocking to know what he's being accused of and been charged with.
Do you still love and support your brother?
I do.
Going forward from today, would you continue to love and support your brother?
Yes, ma'am.
Will he still continue to have a relationship with you and your family through visits?
Yes, ma'am.
And right now you're living in California, is that right?
I'm actually living in Washington.
In Washington. And just to clarify, because I'm not sure if we discussed it, back when your mother left for 2 weeks when you and Adam were young, do you know where she went to?
I believe she went to South America or El Salvador. I can't recall which.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor. Permission to publish the photo to the jury?
You may.
Good afternoon, Mr. DeJesus. How much older are you than Adam?
About a year and a half.
So if, as far as grade courses back when you were in elementary school, if you were in second grade, he would have been in first grade. You're one grade level apart?
I think we were a couple of grade levels apart.
Okay, so 2 grade levels apart?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you detailed a situation where your mother left you, I think you said you were at 12 years old, correct? And Adam was 10?
Yes, that sounds correct.
I'm talking about the trip that you indicated that she left the country.
Yes, sir.
And you were left alone in the house?
Yes.
You had each other, though, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you were able to take care of him during that period of time, right?
That's correct.
And he was able to help take care of you if you needed it, right?
Yes, sir.
Was that a scary time to be left alone like that?
Scary, not so much. Uneasy, a little.
Uneasy? A little bit of uncertainty as to what's going on?
And that's correct.
All right. Mr. DeJesus, as you sit here today, you served in the military, correct?
That's correct.
And which branch did you serve in?
Air Force.
And how long did you serve in the Air Force?
6 years active duty and still in reserves.
All right. And currently you are employed?
Yes, sir.
From the looks of it, you have a very beautiful family and a beautiful home, correct?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And what do you do for a living?
I am a medical equipment technician.
All right. And are those some of the skills that you learned through the military?
Some of the skills, troubleshooting, mechanical, electrical, things of that nature.
And you've been able to provide for your family and yourself, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
No redirect.
All right, sir, you may step down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's call your next witness.
May we approach?
Kind of long break. While you're on break, I need you to think about a few things. We're moving along very quickly. I'm told that our last 3 witnesses will not be available till 3 o'clock. And the reason they're not available is because they're going to come to us via Skype. Getting into the 21st century, we're going to do some Skyping here. That's ready to be set up at 3 o'clock. So they're going to be where they're going to be at 3, and we're going to have them here on the screen live so we can do the rest of it. When that is done, my understanding is that the defense is going to rest. So we're talking right around 3:30, 3:45. After that, both sides will be allowed to do closing arguments. That's probably another hour and 45 minutes. We're getting close to 6 o'clock. The instructions in this case will probably take me about 15 or 20 minutes to read, and then you would go back to deliberate. So your choice is either finish up today with closing arguments, go home, come back tomorrow, and I'll instruct you at that time, and then you begin to deliberate. Or to go ahead and go in and start deliberations tonight. You are a first-degree murder, death penalty qualified jury. That means once you begin to deliberate, I cannot let you go home. I would have to put you up in a hotel if you cannot reach a verdict. I'm told, and that's up to you all to talk about. I will keep you here as late as you want it. So, I mean, I'm not saying we go at 7 or 8. If you guys want to stay till 9 or 10, we're here for you. If you all want to decide, I do not have to sequester you if I do not charge you. So if you go home tonight and come back tomorrow and I charge you, then you have all that time. But that's up to you. kind of heard what is entailed and what your decision-making is going to be when you get back there. So if you all want to talk among yourselves on whether you want to stay and finish up tonight, or whether you want to go home, please, you can talk about that. Not about what your verdict's going to be or what the evidence is, but you're more than welcome to talk among yourselves. You kind of seem like a close-knit group now. You all have had an opportunity to kind of get together and speak. So you're going to have a half an hour break. So we're going to have you back down in the jury pool room at 3 to bring you back up. So between now and then, if you want to talk among yourselves, whatever the decision of the group is fine with me. I'm available for both. Either choice is fine with me and the court reporters and everybody here. So we're going to leave it up to you. You are the ones that have been most affected by having to be here for 3 weeks, so I'll leave it up to you all. So at this time, you'll be in recess down in the jury pool room at 3 o'clock. And other than talking about whether you want to stay till you finish tonight, they'll talk about things, okay? All right, we'll be in recess until 3 o'clock. If I can see Mr. Billings and Mr. Labruzzo off the record on an unrelated matter.